Welcome to the main Slate Mashup, hosted by season-long DFS. We are in week 17, and I reckon for pretty much all of these 17 weeks, I've had Rich and Liam, or one of you, with me. How are you boys doing?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Yeah, how about yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. What about you, Richie?
Yeah, I'm doing well. There was just thinking about that. There was actually one week when it was me and Liam.
Oh my gosh, there wasn't it? When I wasn't very well. I'm not editing that out.
That was a good time, wasn't it, Liam? Simple time.
Yeah, it was decent. Yeah.
Moving on swiftly. As I said, boys, week 17. Where the hell has it gone?
Gone so quick. Generally has.
When people,
one thing that I actually think we need some recognition for is the fact that at the start of the season, everyone was worried that games were going to get cancelled.
Exactly what I was about to say.
We have literally not had a single game that's been cancelled. We might have had some where maybe they should have been cancelled. When the Broncos had to wheel out a practice wide receiver
or Baltimore
as their quarterback. But generally, it's been great, isn't it, to actually have a full season of action. It's been great.
We'll soon be begging for the start of next year to come along.
I've already rolled forward some of my dynasty leagues and I'm already starting to make some trade offers and stuff. So I've got one next season already.
I like it, mate. I like it. Should we get on to the main slate this week?
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah, let's go for it. Yeah.
Do you know what? What I'm going to do first, though, is we've got a question in this week. I'm just going to get it up to see who it's from. The question was, because Liam made a comment on Twitter saying that week 17 is the best week. Why is it the best week, Liam?
I think it's just absolute chaos, and I think it's the method and the madness that I love about it. And if you see my spreadsheet now, I've got about 50 plays that I could talk about. It's just I think it's 15 games. There's just so many players to talk about, so many options. I feel, especially in tournaments, it's brilliant. You know, if you can find the right plays, you win a lot of money, I think. And it's a lot less filtered, I think, and there'll be a lot less chalky plays, in my opinion. So that's why I like it so much. It definitely rewards your process of how you play, I think.
Yeah. Week 17, the week 17 slate is just batshit mental. There's, as you said, 15 games, and the amount of players, as you've said, that you could talk about, I could talk about exactly the same amount of players. With regards to, as you said, we don't think there's going to be that much chalk because there's so much there's so many options and good options available that I don't think we'll get a 20% player, even Derrick Henry this week.
Yeah.
Rich, why is week 17, the week 17 slate, one of the best for you?
I just feel like as Liam kind of alluded to, like you can kind of talk yourself into a number of different lineups and a number of different options. Like
Des Bryant.
This, like I said to you before we started recording, the 2 weeks that I really look forward to on this slate are week 1 and week 17, because there's so much varying strategy. You have players that get thrust into the limelight because we've seen today. We're recording this on, is it Wednesday?
Wednesday.
To lose days. Yeah. So Wednesday, and Patrick Mahomes is just, they've just announced that he's not going to be playing in that game. So now all of a sudden you have like Chad Henne, who's going to be the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs, and that's a massive spend down. You've got Mason Rudolph, who seems like he's going to be the starter of the Steelers. I'm not saying that we'll put him in our lineups, but that kind of thing it gives you variation in strategy, which
don't
is
forget
fun.
Blake Bortles as well.
I don't think he's going to be the guy, no. I thought they said it was going to be some other...
Wolford or something. I forgot his name.
I
Yeah.
reckon that they might start because who is it? Who are they playing?
I don't think Blake
Cardinals.
Bortles is even on
They're
the...
playing they're the Broncos.
No, Cardinals.
Oh, Cardinals. I swear I saw something.
He did. He got re-signed to it. Yeah, he got re-signed. Because I know they didn't have him for a little bit because I think he went to Denver, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that should be And that question was from Rob Nugent at NUG 1990. So that's why we all love week 17, Rob. It's fantastic, and especially the season on DFS. It's going to be mad. It is going to be mad. But let's get on to the actual slate itself and go as per normal with our high value players we like. And let's start at quarterback. And Liam, start us off, mate. Who do you like quarterback in the high kind of value?
For me, probably the best value QB on the slate in Aaron Rodgers, 7,400. Obviously, must-win game for them this week if they want to wrap up the number 1 seed against Chicago. He's always been a consistent DFS option, hitting that value you kind of need in your lineups. And of course, he's got his wide receiver one, Devontae Adams, who has been Mr. Ever Reliable, who I'm sure a lot of people will stack up in the lineups this week, especially with Rodgers being priced down a bit. And I think a lot of people will play him. I think you've got players with him like Allen, who is he playing? We don't know. Obviously, Deshaun, Lamar, who are more expensive than Rodgers, and I feel quite a few people will overlook him. But I won't be one of those people, and I'll be playing him definitely in my lineups.
Rich?
You want me to comment on Aaron Rodgers, or
you can comment and then you can give yours. The floor is yours, my man.
I love Aaron Rodgers this week as well. Like, it's a divisional game, which is always going to be entertaining. Against Chicago, they're going to be wanting to make a statement, and as Liam said, they need the win to get the first seed. So, if there's a guy who can unlock that defense, it's Aaron Rodgers. So I'm happy with that. My first guy is Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah,
7,000. Tennessee need this game. Houston, they're not a bad team. You might see some type of a boost from the JJ Watt video where he had the press conference where he talked about what it means to be on that roster. But the Titans will be wanting to get this victory and start their playoff run right. Ryan Tannehill is an effective quarterback. Like, this offense, as much as it goes through Derrick Henry, it also relies on Tannehill taking those shots off play action.
Yeah,
and I think against Houston's secondary, he can have a good game.
Yeah, no, Tannehill's on my list. I really like him this week. I think it's 7,000 is a fair price. Especially, and Houston just got torn apart by who's the Bengals guy?
There's Allen, right? Brandon Allen.
Yeah. That well-known player.
Yeah, everyone knows him. Everyone knows him.
Yeah.
I've got one, and this is a risk. It's if he's fully healthy and if he plays. If he's healthy, he plays. Basically, he's not listed on the injury report.
If he's healthy, then
yeah. Deshaun Watson. He's going up against Tennessee. You can rip this secondary to absolute shreds. They have 0 pass rush, which is good because the Texans O-line is pretty bad. He's. I think I've mentioned in the last 2 weeks because he's just been playing. He makes everyone around him better. 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns last 2 weeks, 30 points last week, 27 the week before. You can use his legs, so you see him probably around, I guess, 30-odd yards average for the season, maybe a little bit more. You'd like to see him run a little bit more because he's quick and elusive. But, yeah, against this Tennessee secondary, I'm all over Deshaun this week. 7,700, sign me up. Sign me up. Liam, have you got anybody else?
Yeah, I like the look of Lamar at 8K. Obviously, with Mahomes not playing now, he is the most expensive QB on the slate. But I feel in cash games is a safe option. You know, Baltimore are dominant on the road, and they pretty much every game they play on the road, they tend to have a decent game in all 4 quarters. And Lamar in the rushing floor, and he's been showing a bit of prominence in the passing game as well the past couple of weeks. Yeah, I think he's a nice option at 8K. My only concern is, can Cincinnati keep up? We saw it, of course, last week with Houston, but Houston defense compared to Baltimore is not a comparison, or not a fair one at all, at least.
No.
But I feel if you're after 25 points, which is pretty solid for Lamar at 8K, I think he can get that very realistically.
Rich, have you got anybody else?
Honourable mention to Josh Allen. I think this is a game that he's going to be wanting to do something as well, to get some type of momentum going into the playoffs. But
does he play?
I think he's bench personally.
I feel as though Buffalo are going to still want to roll him out just because it's Miami. I think if they win the game, am I right in thinking Miami have probably made it, right?
They need one of 4 scenarios, Miami. The easiest one is obviously beating Buffalo, but they need help from others if they don't win.
Okay, I just feel like because it's a divisional thing that the Buffalo Bills might want to eliminate the Dolphins if they can. But I'm probably not going to be having too many lineups, if any, with him because of the price. I much prefer Tannehill 600 less.
Well, against week 2, a long time ago, against his good Dolphins defense, he's shoved up 37.5 points.
The Dolphins defense wasn't that good at the start of the season, though. No, it's definitely matured as the season's gone on. So, but I wouldn't put too much stock in that figure.
But I think that we can quite happily say Josh Allen is basically matchup proof. It doesn't matter what defense he's playing, you play him.
The only thing is, he might be quite popular because a lot of people maybe won their fantasy playoffs, fantasy championships off the back of Josh Allen, which you might laugh, but like that is one thing that in week 17 you'll see a lot of is people trying to get in the heroes that won them the championship.
There'll be a lot of Alvin Kamara then. There will be a lot of Alvin Kamara. I've got one other guy that I quite like, and it's Kirk Cousins. 6,300. Got up against Detroit. Detroit are just garbage. Without Dalvin Cook, he's out this week. Mattson's probably going to step in. Last time Mattson did that was against the Falcons. He did absolutely bugger all. I don't care. I think Cousins is. I think they're going to throw the ball a fair bit this game. Cousins is just kind of consistent. He's a bit boring. Late teens to mid 20s is pretty much what you're going to get every single week. And if you just want to lock it and load and not be overly concerned about your quarterback, then Kirk Cousins is pretty nice. 6,300. Last game against Detroit, he only threw 20 times, 13 completions, 3 touchdowns for 20 points. So
he's like the perfect kind of. When I think of Kirk Cousins, I always just think of cash games because he's just one of those guys who just tends to hit some form of value against his salary, but he's not going to win you a GBP.
Probably not, no.
But like that's kind of how I view him. He's just kind of safe.
Yeah. Anyone got anyone else?
Not for me, no.
Cool. Running backs. Rich starts off.
I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor to start with.
Nice. One of my guys.
Yeah.
The Colts started this season so well, and currently they're actually just outside of the playoffs. They need a couple of things to happen.
What's their record?
They're 10-5.
Wow, 10-5 and not in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean all of the teams. You know, the Titans are 10-5, Dolphins, Ravens, and Browns all 10-5, as well as the Colts.
Yeah,
I mean the Colts would have been there if they decided to actually keep running the ball last week against the Steelers, which was actually working really well for them.
Or just beat Jacksonville in week 1.
or just beat Jacksonville in week 1. Yeah, both of those things on the cards. But as we said, there is a slight concern with Anthony Costanzo, who's going to be out of this game. I think he's undergoing surgery or is going to need to undergo surgery, so he's going to be out at left tackle. But the rest of this offensive line is strong enough that I'm not really overly worried. And as we said before, the Colts need this game to stand any chance of making the playoffs. So they've got a vested interest in trying to be effective on offense.
Yeah. Agreed, mate. Agree. I like Jonathan Taylor this week, 7,400. Liam, what about you, buddy?
So I mentioned the obvious one. I'll say Myles Gaskin at 6,500. Buffalo have proven all season they can be run on, and personally, I feel Gaskin is Miami's best weapon at the moment in terms of their offense. There's loads of questions last week going into the Raiders game. It was always Ahmed going to get all the touches, and he didn't. Gaskin came in and did really well with his touches. Even the receiving game was pretty good. 82 yards, 5 receptions, and obviously the 2 touchdowns as well. So he had a breakout game, if you want to call it that. He's been showing that all season, and I feel, again, a bit like Aaron Rodgers, I feel people are going to overlook him. I think the matchup will scare them. With Buffalo, if Allen plays, I don't think he will, but if he does, then they could put points up and Miami may look to pass more. I don't see it happening. I just see Gaskin dominating Buffalo in the running game, and at 6,500, I feel it's a nice budget option you can pivot to with the likes of Henry and etc. being so heavily priced.
I'm going to say something which might be unpopular. From the weeks that I saw Ahmed, I thought he looked more impressive than Myles Gaskin has all year.
He's had his games for sure, but I feel last week proved that Gaskin is the better player, and I think majority of weeks Gaskin has been in, if he can stay healthy, he is the lead back in his team, and he's clearly got the trust of Flores and the coaching staff that he's more efficient, quite frankly, and we haven't seen that consistency from Ahmed the games that Gaskin hasn't been there.
He's not the running back for you next year, is
he? Who, Gaskin?
Yeah.
No, we'll draft one, 100%. But a nice backup option.
Yeah. I have got Mr. Blatantly Obvious for me, David Montgomery. Why get away from Monty? Last week was a little bit disappointing. I think me and I think a lot of other people expected a little bit more, but pretty solid. 95 yards, the touchdown, 2 receptions, 26 yards, 20 points. It's worse than he's done the last 3 or 4 weeks before that. But going up against Green Bay, Rich, as a Green Bay fan, I think you can admit that you can be run on.
I'm not saying anything.
I think if the Bears are sensible, they will try and keep the ball as much as possible, keep it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands. It will never happen because it's Aaron Rodgers. But I think he's used in the passing game as well. So even if they are chasing points, I think Montgomery's still got a fairly safe floor this week. And 7,700, yeah, it's going up, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it against Green Bay. Liam, what have you got, mate?
I'll mention the obvious Derrick Henry because no one has yet. What is there to say really? It's Derrick Henry. We saw David Johnson and Samaje Perine, more likely to say, absolutely run all over this team. And who is Samaje Perine, quite frankly? Derrick Henry is going to get the amount of touches that he needs to. I don't remember exactly how many yards he needs to get to 2K, but I believe it's north of 200 yards.
Yeah, it's going to be It's got to be 200. I know he needed 453 with 2 games, and he got
98 last week.
453 with 3 games, I think it was.
Oh, 3 games. Oh, okay, sorry.
So he probably needs 220, 230.
I think he can get that in this matchup 100%. To be honest, look at Jacksonville. What, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. And Houston's defense numbers-wise is worse.
223.
Yeah.
I just looked it up.
So you're basically asking him to replicate a Jacksonville performance and get an extra first down. I think he can do that. I generally do. And if he does, he's going to break slates. And he'll win you cash games. And obviously using defense can be run all over and passed all over, but I feel they'll try and get into his 2K.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, you talk about the Jacksonville game, you talk about the Houston game in week 6, 212 yards.
Yeah.
And that's against your opponent, who arguably have got even worse on defense. And that was a fewer attempts than he had in that Jacksonville game. So I'm fully on board. The team is going to be absolutely vested in trying to help him meet that goal, because that is quite a landmark for anyone. So, yeah.
Yeah, but the thing is, thing that kind of confuses me is why didn't they just continually run the ball against Detroit? He could have got 200 plus against them.
He got 24 yards. 24 attempts, sorry.
Yeah, he got 147. Give him 34. You were walking away with the game. Give him 34 attempts. He can take it. He's a big boy. I expected him to have a much better last couple of weeks.
I didn't personally, but I do think he would have a good game this week.
I think he'll have a good game this week. I mean, it's all to do with game flow. Like, this team, as much as they want him to break the record, they also want to be having a deep run in the playoffs, right? So it's going to be where, if he scores those touchdowns, because the yardage total was going to be there, right? 100%. Can he get the touchdowns? I think he can against this Houston defense. It's not a big deal. I think it's more just how can you get him into your lineup and then be happy with the rest of it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it feels to me.
Who wants to go next?
I think I've said on mine.
Rich?
Yeah, I've kind of said on mine. Like, there's the obvious, like, Alvin Kamara as well, but there's no one who really stands out, because I think realistically, if I'm spending that much, I'm going to be spending up on Derrick Henry, not Kamara. Jamie disagrees.
No, I'm not. I don't. I'm not saying I disagree. I don't think there's going to be a huge match between them. The Saints have got to win this game and hope that the Packers lose. Am I right in thinking? Because they're both tied.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've got to win this game. This is against Carolina, who are just Carolina are a weird team. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look awful. The fact that Peyton gave him all the attempts last week, 6 bloody touchdowns. I don't know. I wonder if they might get out to a lead and then just run Latavius Murray. That's the only concern.
I'm trying to think about it now, because I think, don't the Packers have the tiebreak over the Saints?
The Packers.
Yeah, they need the Packers to lose, and they
need the Packers to lose.
But the Packers are a game ahead.
Oh, are they? I thought they were level.
We're 12-3. The Saints are 11-4.
Okay.
There's got to be a scenario where they get number 1 seed. I swear there is. 1 second.
I'm gonna have to Google that now.
There's a track on New York Times that tells you, I think.
Right, well, while you boys look, I'm going to just quickly suggest someone, and DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
6,300, going up against the Vikings. I'm the night hard about this because Adrian Peterson, Kerryon Johnson, those annoying little shits, the other running backs. Just give him the ball. Minnesota defensively, they've looked a little bit better, apart from the last game where they were just garbage. Swift is talent-wise. If they just decided, we're not going to use Frank Gore, Adrian Peterson, and we're not going to use Kerryon Johnson, and gave DeAndre Swift 25 attempts, then brilliant. Do we know if Stafford's going to be playing this week? Because this was, I wasn't sure.
Wasn't he? He was practicing.
Because if Stafford isn't playing, I'm not playing DeAndre Swift. You can take Swift off my list.
Find this picture. He won't practice on Wednesday.
Okay.
That's what they said. That's what Darryl Bevel said.
What have they? Why would they play Stafford anyway? Let's be honest. I know Stafford wants to play, but they've got no reason to. So do you know what? If that's the case, I'm not even going to talk about DeAndre Swift. I don't think
the
he won't
playoff
be
scenario.
Mhm.
The playoff scenario that I've found for the Saints to be number 1 seed is they need to beat Carolina, Green Bay need to lose to Chicago, and Seattle need to beat San Francisco.
It's doable.
That's doable. Yeah.
No, Green Bay are going to walk this game.
That's doable though. I mean, it's obviously I think Green Bay are going to win. But yeah, it's doable.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Wide receivers, Liam, start us off, mate.
I'll leave the obvious one to someone else. I'll go Justin Jefferson, 7,600. I thought he was within a chance of getting the rookie receiving yards record. Don't think he is, but still, he runs the most routes in the league in wide receivers, and for a rookie, that's quite incredible in my opinion. And with such a concentrated pass funnel between him and Thielen, essentially, he's going to see, as you see the past 4 games, 12, 8, 11, 10 targets. You've seen that all season, and I'll definitely see that happen against Detroit. With Cook out, I feel they focus more on the passing game. Obviously, Madison is, well, from what we saw last time against the Falcons.
He's risky.
Yeah.
He's going to be very, very popular this week. And his price, I believe, is pretty much the same as it's been all season, like $6K or something.
Yeah, I think he'll be brought up later on. But I'm not touching him either way. So I think Jefferson and Thielen want to go out on a bang this season and try and get in the playoffs for Minnesota. And of course, if you like Cousins, Jamie, then I'm assuming you like Jefferson yourself.
Yeah, Jefferson's on my list. Rich, who have you got, buddy?
I always feel nervous when Liam says it's an obvious one because I always feel like it's a test. But
you're going to say the obvious one, aren't you?
I don't know. Like the thing is, Adams is like he might be obvious, but I feel like I don't want to spend up on him.
I'm not spending up on Adams.
Yeah.
No.
Interesting.
My guy that I want is AJ Brown.
Like it.
He didn't.
Didn't practice Wednesday.
I've just seen that now. Didn't practice Wednesday, but there's that might be something to monitor. In which case, I'll pivot to Corey Davis because the way I look at the two of them is the exact same. I spoke earlier about how I like Ryan Tannehill with how the Tennessee offense runs, which is run, deep bomb. AJ Brown can score from anywhere on the field. It could be a 1 yard reception that he just rips off for 70 yards. So he's got that ability, and Corey Davis is having the season as well. So both of them are definite contenders for me for my lineups.
The thing about Brown, what they say here is Brown's been managing an ankle issue, so we expect that his absence from practice Wednesday is in keeping with the team's strategy of managing the wideouts reps so that he's available come game day. If recent weeks are an indication, Brown should be returned to full practice no later than Friday, which is positive.
Yeah, that's fine.
It is positive. I'm not messing around. Calvin Ridley.
Yep.
Don't care about that. Yeah, he's the second most expensive wide receiver on the slate behind Adams. Adams is 92, Calvin's 85. Ridley's last 3 weeks, 29.4, 35.3 and 20.3. And 2 weeks ago against Tampa Bay, he went 10 for 14 for 163 and a touchdown for 35.3 points. Julio or no Julio, Calvin Ridley's played really, really well this year. And especially the last couple of weeks of that Julio, he's stepped up massively. Tampa Bay, good against the run, not very good against the pass. The Falcons the last couple of weeks, Matt Ryan specifically has played really well. And I expect this to be another bit of a shootout, really. I'm not saying I'm going to expect another 163 and a touchdown, but I wouldn't be surprised with Ridley, if I'm brutally honest. Liam, you quite like Ridley this week?
Yeah, for all reasons you mentioned, really. Look at the target share, look at the points totals. Even 5 receptions, you got 20 points, which is crazy, really.
Yeah.
I'll be playing him quite a bit, I think.
And crucially, he didn't get a touchdown either, because
that's
getting 20 points with a touchdown as well is like
all volume. Yeah, mental.
Yeah,
he's quite impressive. Liam,
Yeah, Adams, most defensive guy on the slate wide receiver wise. Obviously, I like Rodgers, so I like Adams a fair bit. I mean, what else can you say? I don't know what else you say really. Just look at his points totals to pass the whole season. Or maybe apart from Carolina, he got 11 points. He bounced back with 46 points last week against Tennessee. Yeah, and I feel that it's a must-win game. He's going to throw to Adams. It's his guy, and I think Green Bay will secure that number one seed, quite frankly, in the NFC.
Devontae Adams gave me a bit of a scare in one of my Dynasty Championship finals this week. I had Alvin Kamara and was going into the Monday night game or whatever it was going up with just Devontae Adams to come against me. I had a 60-point lead, and I looked in the morning and I won by 3 bloody points.
Oh.
Fucking hell!
I've not fact checked it, but I think I saw something that he's the highest scoring wide receiver, having missed 3 games.
Okay, it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
that's the level of dominance that he has in this Packers offense, and how this Packers offense is rolling as well. I've not fact checked that, so that might be slightly incorrect, but I saw a tweet earlier that said that. So.
Packers offense is very, very similar to the Chicago Bears offense of Mitch Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky's first read is Allen Robinson. His second read is Allen Robinson. His third read is Allen Robinson. His fourth read is Allen Robinson. And it's basically the same with Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, especially when you're inside the 10, you know exactly where they're going.
I don't want to cut you out, but did you just compare Mitch Trubisky to Aaron Rodgers?
I know. I was doing Mitch down a little bit there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's tough to same class as Trubisky. Rodgers, he needs to work a little bit though. That action's not all there.
Yeah.
Rich, have you got anybody else, mate?
I've got someone 6,700. So your guys love Crush, yeah.
Really?
Is he playing? I'm pretty sure the rest of the starters, aren't they?
They're resting Mason Rudolph, whether they'll rest everyone else.
I mean, I think they'd be pretty silly not to rest their wide receivers, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, okay.
I actually think this offense needs to have something that I'm surprised if it was me and I'm Tomlin, I personally would put in. I'd have my whole offense in there, because the last couple of weeks they've not looked what you need them to look like to win something. This team seems to me like it's actually predicated on how far its defense can take you, and their defense is good, but having lost Bud Dupree is a big blow. So,
also, just quickly, just one thing about the Steelers' offense that I've noticed is I just feel like they've just turned into the New Orleans Saints of last year. Just 5, 7 yard, 10-yard passes. That's about it. With the occasional 20-yard pass, Ben can't throw it any further than that.
Yeah, his injury that he sustained last year has definitely changed how he's throwing the ball.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's still carrying that as well.
The mechanics of how he's throwing the ball are slightly different. Like he's using his legs more. He always used to use just upper body, but now he's having to use his legs, which is a big change for someone who's that far established in the league.
Yeah. So tell us why Deontay Johnson.
I'm going Deontay Johnson because I think that they're going to need to shake off some rust, and I think Deontay Johnson is the best wide receiver they have.
Yeah,
it's that simple to me. They might end up like resting them or whatever, but personally, from the outside looking in, I want to have my offense sharp, and this is you can send the Browns home.
Exactly. Why would you?
Which would be something that they would personally love, right? Because the Browns have always been like the little brother of the Steelers. So if they could send the Browns home and the Colts end up getting into the playoffs as a result, I think the Steelers would be quite happy with that.
Yeah. I have got. Where is he? Cannot find him. I'm blind. Mike Evans. Last couple of weeks played really well. Last week was 10 receptions, 181 and 2 touchdowns. The week before that it was against the Falcons, 6 receptions for 110. The Falcons' defense has been playing better, and it's kind of what the Falcons' defense does, why they kind of step up at the end of the year when it doesn't matter at all. Really does. I think they played a fantastic game plan against the Chiefs recently, but less about them, more about Mike Evans. Mike Evans. There were so many people who were worried about Evans at the start of the year with Brady and Godwin's going to be the number one. No. Mike Evans is the alpha there. He's the main guy. Brady will get the ball to him. As good as this Falcons defense has been playing the last couple of weeks, it's really, really tough to defend a big-bodied, strong, quick. Mike Evans just got it all for me. I think he's a top 5 receiver in the league. Talent-wise, he's fantastic. I think Brady's gonna want to pile up the score if he can. I think the Bucs want to make a statement at home against the Falcons. 7,500. I like him. If you play a Ridley, bringing it back with Mike Evans this week.
That's an expensive bring back.
That is expensive.
That is an expensive bring back.
I know, but it's a beautiful bring back. Anyone got anyone else?
No, not for me. No.
Rich?
No, I've not got anyone else.
Okay, I've got one. Honourable mentions. I'm just going to say that Brandon Cooks is 6,900 going up against the Titans. If you like Deshaun Watson like I do, you're going to like his main offensive weapon, his main receiver, Brandon Cooks. Last week he did pretty well. I think he's 100 plus.
Yeah, he did well. Yeah.
So a quick look. 141 and a touchdown last week. The Texans are going to have to score points to keep up with the Titans. So, Deshaun Watson is going to be throwing the ball all over the place. Another one, which is... can't find him. It's DK Metcalf against Seattle. Against the 49ers.
Yeah.
And this was mainly based on the fact what he did last time against them. He dominated them the last time they played. It was week 8, 12 for 15 for 161 and 2. This Seahawks offense has not looked right for God knows what, 4 or 5 weeks at least. I think I don't know what they've got to do. This 49ers defense is gettable. Russ is going to have to move around in the pocket as he normally does. Metcalf, just throw it up to DK. 7,300. His price has been getting cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper the last 4 or 5 weeks. 7,300. I'm quite happy to take that chance. He's seeing eight targets a game, and he's always that opportunity for 1 or 2 really big plays. So if you don't want to spend up for Devontae Adams, then you kind of you can spend down and go for a DK at 73. With potentially they could end up with similar points scored this week for me. Tight ends, Richard.
Darren Waller.
Expand.
Yeah, he's really good.
That right here is why people listen and watch the Slate Mashup, because the analysis is Darren Waller because he's good.
Okay, he's really good.
Really good.
Yeah, he's kind of like the primary receiver on this offense, and the Raiders, I believe they're completely out of it, right? Yeah,
yes.
They're completely out of it. They're still going to want to end the season on somewhat of a high against a divisional rival. So Darren Waller is going to be a big part of that, especially if the running game doesn't get going. And Denver can be very hit or miss with how they stop running backs. So
yes.
we can see a big game from the tight end / wide receiver.
Liam, what about you?
Mark Andrews for me. With Lamar passing a bit more, Andrews has been getting quite a bit of the targets. 11 last week against the Giants. Did get a touchdown, but off pure production wise, 13 points is decent for a tight end. Obviously, touchdown would have boosted that to maybe 20. But I like him against Cincinnati. Cincinnati can't defend anything. Exhibit A last week against Houston.
Yeah.
Everyone was pretty much doing well, apart from, of course, Chad Hansen, who was one of the guys that I played. But yeah, I like Andrew this week. Seems to be the main guy. Him and Hollywood Brown are the two targets mostly. And yeah, 5,800. Actually, a lot of people may go to Waller or just pay down, and I think Andrews could be a nice GPP play.
Cool. I quite like George Kittle this week. I don't often like expensive tight ends. The first game back last week for 8 weeks, I believe it was, 4 or 5 for 92. Him and Beat Hard, or Bethard, they college teammates. I didn't look on how many snaps Kittle played last week. Can one of you whiz kids
I'll have a look.
Have a quick look? Because I reckon he was. I'm guessing he probably didn't play a huge amount, as in his normal.
To be honest, he's out there more than I thought he'd be. Let's get the numbers up now.
Particularly as they're just out of it as well.
What
they've been out?
Yeah,
they've been out for
out of it.
So he saw a 55.8 snap share.
Yeah.
What I mean is they've been out of it for a while as well. It's not like they were on the cusp of it and thinking that they needed to have something. And it's not like he's going for a personal record either.
No, the Kittle just wants to play football.
Yeah, I think that's generally.
I think Bethard's played all right. Kittle's going to be the main guy there because there's no Debo, there's no Ayuk either. So they've got Kittle, Kendrick Bourne, and Richie James. I wonder who he's going to throw the ball to.
Jordan Reed.
Ross Dwelly. I think 6,000 is probably. I'd probably rather go Mark Andrews, maybe at the price a little bit cheaper, but I think with Kittle could explode. He really could, and especially with Ayuk out as well. I think that kind of bumps Kittle up for me. Anybody else, or are we good for them, or we can go on to defenses?
Yeah, I'm all good.
Right, Liam. Defenses.
I'll tell you what, not a lot I like at top. Of course, you've got Baltimore, who must-win game. I think they can stop Cincinnati quite well. But 4,200, are you going to play them? I'm not personally. I think there's quite a nice bit of value down towards the lower end. So, yeah, I don't really have one. Sorry, Jamie.
No, that's fine. Rich?
Colts.
Yeah.
3,900 against Jacksonville. I don't know have they announced who the quarterback's going to be, or are they still being cagey about it?
Is it Glennon?
Does it matter?
I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter. This Colts defense is it might not feel like they're the best for fantasy, but in real life they seem like
they're one of the best.
The best defense for in real life, and at some point that'll translate. So I'm not saying that I'm spending up on them, but if I was spending up on the defense, they'd be the team that I do.
Yeah. Everything that you said, mate, was exactly my thoughts really on the Colts. Cool. Let's hit the mid to low value then, shall we? You finished, Rich, so you can start, mate. Quarterbacks.
Every week I feel like I keep saying it. Phillip Rivers. Liam, just like at least I'm not talking about Herbert this week. Like,
actually, no, I don't mind Rivers this week. Actually,
Rivers. The reason being, this they have to win. There's no option. There's no scenario where they kind of qualify where they haven't won. So they have to win this game. Jonathan Taylor will be a big part of that, but Rivers will also be a big part of that as well. The thing is, I'm not entirely sure which receiver will be the guy that does it. I mean, we saw Zach Pascal.
And last couple of weeks, Zach Pascal's been...
That's what I was going to say. So he just appeared out of nowhere. So for me, I'm kind of happy if I'm stacking Rivers and Taylor, because I feel like I'm just getting both of how the Colts are going to play.
Would you do you prefer Rivers at 6,000 or Kirk Cousins at 63?
I think I'd prefer Rivers at 6, purely because they have to win. There's no option for them. Okay. So if the run game doesn't get going, then they are just going to be saying to Phil, just bring back some of that Chargers magic, mate. Just get it. I don't care if you throw 5 interceptions. Let's just get some scores.
Yeah. Liam, who have you got?
The main one for me is Andy Dalton, 5,600. Played a bit of him last week, did really well for me. I believe north of 30 points, which is, of course, terrific value, really, for what you're paying for at his price. And again, he hasn't really been priced up. He's in a must-win game against the Giants, who also need to win. So I'm kind of expecting two teams to go at it and be a bit of a shootout. And yeah, I don't know what you can say. He's getting the touchdown passes. He's getting the yards for the most part. And yeah, the running game's been pretty poor for them. So I quite like Dalton to hit value this week.
Cool. I'm going to be very boring, boys. Going back to Matt Ryan again.
Okay.
Done it for the last 2 weeks. He's done pretty well, 30 points and 22 points. Going up against Tampa Bay. Yeah, I think the Falcons aren't going to run the ball. Flipping Ito Smith is the, well, just was shit at it. Ito Smith's apparently the main running back, which doesn't exactly fill you with joy or excitement or hope. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see another 45 attempts. The thing with the Falcons are out of it and have been for a very long period of time. And the thing which really kind of they make a point of doing is they don't sit down. They don't give up. They will treat this game like it was a playoff game. They don't want to lose, especially against the Bucks. So yeah, Ryan's going to be throwing the ball all over the place. I like Ridley. I like Matt Ryan. I think that's 5,900. I think the price is juicy. That's the word I'm using. Juicy. Rich, have you got anybody else?
Kind of the two backups I mentioned right at the start of the show. So Chad Henne might be worth something, 5,100. Like I'm talking like these are like bargain basements. If you're looking at a QB that you want to be able to put in, that means that you can have a couple of expensive running backs, and these are the guys that you're going to be dredging to put in your lineup. He's going to be the starter against the Chargers. We've seen the Chargers have struggled on defense. They've given up big plays throughout the season. I don't think you'll see like Tyreek play, but you might see
Byron Pringle.
You might see Byron Pringle. I reckon this feels to me like the type of game that you'll see Sammy Watkins blow up, and everyone next year will be really excited for him. Demarcus Robinson also tends to have like one huge game a season. So I'm not massively enamored by it. I'd rather spend up on some of the other guys that we've mentioned, but he's there.
Liam, who else you got?
I'm keeping an eye on Baker Mayfield, 5,500. Just purely from a Steelers point of view, if they rest starters, which I think they could do. I know you guys have mentioned how they could knock them out of the playoffs, things like that, but it depends on what you value more. Your chances of doing well in the postseason or knocking a division rival out. I personally think they'll value doing well in the postseason more. And I think that could mean resting some starters on defense. So you could see people like Higgins, Landry, maybe potentially do well. And of course, that would mean Baker Mayfield's probably going to do well. So yeah, I'll keep an eye on the Pittsburgh situation.
Yeah, in all honesty, that's a situation I can see. If I'm from the outside looking in, I can rest some of my starters on defense because I already know what that unit is. They don't need to be sharpened. They're already razor sharp.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I was saying about the offense is because that offense isn't. That's why I would say they need to stay on the field. Yeah, you need to earn the right to sit on the bench.
There's two that I looked at. CJ Beathard going up for the 49ers, going up against the Seahawks. Seahawks are improved, but 5,200. Yes, he's going to be with that. But I think most of the time he's going to throw the ball to Jeff Wilson or Jarrett McKinnon or Kittle. 5,200 seems fair to me. Another one, the same as I did last week, actually. Same guy. Where am I going to find him? Why can't I find him? Oh my God! Drew Lock. The Raiders' defense isn't very good. Drew Lock isn't very good, but 5,000. He's got the weapons. If you want, I'm probably not going to take a punt on him, but at that kind of price, I wouldn't put it past a fair few people too. He's got Judy Patrick, Fant.
Yeah.
You've got Lindsay. Lindsay.
He's on IR.
Lindsay's on IR.
They've got Gordon. He's got the weapons. I think they're going to want to see. They haven't seen what they wanted to see this season from him. Let's be honest. He's been pretty shocking. Drew Lock could either absolutely blow up in your face, or he could go for 250 and 3. Let's just hope it's the latter one, really.
I would just say on Drew Lock's stats, as we've got them up on screen here, they could have been a lot better if it wasn't for the drops that Jerry Jeudy had. He had quite a few, whereas literally to his hand, and he just couldn't haul it in. So you could have seen a slightly better game than that last time out.
Right, boys, should we hit the running backs?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Liam, start us off, mate.
Where to start? I've got so many. Melvin Gordon, let's go with the volume play first. A lot of people played him last week, including me. Didn't exactly live up to the hype. He didn't get his touchdown. Had the volume for sure. 16 touches are kind of what you need. And I'll be happy with that yardage. It's a shame he didn't get his touchdown, but I'll go back to him again here against Las Vegas. I actually see this game being fairly decent points wise. Of course, you've got Carr, who really he needs to still play for his job. I think every week he's got his job on the line and on the same side. Yeah, I generally do.
He's not a threat.
It doesn't matter.
Anybody says
it doesn't matter. They could draft a QB. In
my
Why opinion,
would they draft a quarterback?
Derek Carr is not it.
Derek Carr is not getting that team anywhere. They are a mediocre team.
Isn't, and a rookie isn't either.
They're a mediocre team, to say the least.
Let me put it this way. I reckon John Gruden's gone by the end of next off-season if they don't make the playoffs. Don't care about that contract.
What is that, 8-year contract?
And he's not going to do that with a fucking rookie or Marcus Mariota.
He's not doing a Derek Carr either, in my opinion.
Well, I think he will.
Yeah, and on the same side, you got Drew Lock, who's also playing for his job. I mean, if he can't do it this week, then he's in serious trouble losing his job as well. So I feel everyone on both opposites is going to have to play well. And I think with how Las Vegas defends the running back, which hasn't been good all season, I feel Melvin Gordon can make better use of his volume this week. And it's a classic story of everyone played him last week, didn't do well. The following week, when no one's on him, he does well. It's happened too many times this season. I think it happens again here.
That's fair, mate. That's fair. Rich, where are you going, mate?
I had Melvin Gordon on my list. I'll go to... Is he the only fit guy for the Rams?
Malcolm Brown? Yeah, I believe he is, yeah.
Yeah.
So 43?
43,
yeah.
If you can get a starting running back for 4,300, then you don't even need that much production for them to actually kind of hit value. It'd be interesting to see what the Rams do on offense. Like if they have one of their Goff.
Goff's not playing.
Yeah, they got Wolford.
Wolford or Portal.
Yeah. Beautiful. So either way, just hand the ball off. And this is a game that this is a game that means something as well, because I think I'm not sure on who would have the tie break, but
I think the Rams.
the Rams are currently in the playoff. Arizona are a game behind.
Well, Arizona beat the Rams. No, the Rams beat Arizona a lot.
So I'm not sure on the tie break, but either way, like the Bears are 8-7 as well, which is what the Cardinals are. So if the Bears get beaten by the Packers, the Cardinals win, they'll be in. So I think this game is going to be competitive, is what I'm trying to say. So Malcolm Brown was definitely going to be in play as a result,
especially at 4,300.
And with Cooper Kupp having tested positive for COVID.
Yeah.
That changes things.
It does slightly. I have got, where am I going? Gus Edwards, 4,900. How can you not love a bit of Gus Edwards? How can you not love a bit of Gus Edwards? All he does is give you points. He's great. Give him a full workload. Was he 15 attempts last week, which is, I'm guessing he's probably near on his season high as 16 in week 8 against Pittsburgh. So 15 for 85. Couple of receptions. He looks good when he gets the ball. They're gonna. I suspect Mark Ingram's going to be another healthy scratch. The Ravens need to win.
Yeah, ideally. They need to win really. Yeah.
I think they're going to run. They're going to run all over the Bengals this week. Him, J.K. Dobbins, and Lamar Jackson should have a really nice day. What's Dobbins' price? I'm going to have a quick browse.
6-7, I think.
I would much prefer to play Gus Edwards at 1,800 less.
Gus Edwards feels to me much like Mark Lamar was last. Mark Ingram.
Mark Lamar,
yeah.
Mark Ingram was last season, as he's just he kind of fits that offense quite well when they just want to ground and pound it. He's not spectacular, but he'll just move the chains. Kind of like a Frank Gore-esque type of thing. Like he'll just get those solid yards.
Do you know who he kind of reminds me of? Just on his production and the situation he's in, reminds me of Michael Turner.
Okay.
When Turner's with the Chargers. Behind Tomlinson, just gets the job done when you give him the ball, and then he moves on and performs very, very well at another team for 3 odd years afterwards, or 2 or 3 years afterwards. I think Gus Edwards can be a number 1 running back for a team. It's just someone's got to give him the opportunity.
Fair.
A lot of people don't agree with me on that, but I'm a big Gus Edwards fan, so fuck them.
I know you are. I'm not going to argue. So be here all night. So.
No. Rich?
I think it's Liam next. I don't actually.
I don't care. No, I'm going to you.
I don't have another one right now.
You don't have another one, so you've just got Malcolm Brown. Ooh. I wonder who's in Rich's team. Derek Henry. Liam?
So Darrell Williams for me, 4,800. I don't see a world where CEH plays in this one personally. He was doubtful last week, and I think they're going to want to keep him fresh for the playoffs. And Le'Veon Bell's terrible. So I'll take Darrell Williams, who last week did okay with his production. I think he sees a bump up against the Chargers this week. With Chad Henne, I don't know what to expect from him, but I know what to expect from Williams in terms of him being pretty good with his yards per carry. He got 4.6 last week.
He's handy in the receiving game as well.
Yeah, exactly. And he got targets last week. As you can see, 6 targets, 4 receptions. I think for 500 more, I'm leaning towards playing Williams over Brown, but I can't make an argument for both plays. I just like Williams a bit more. I think it's just a gut instinct type of thing.
I feel like Williams will probably get a lot of usage because the Chiefs surely just want to get through this game without any injuries.
Yeah, that's what I
so just kill the clock. And if you've got, as much as I said, Chad Henne's like a cheap QB play. If he is your starting QB, you're not exactly saying. Why don't you just throw the ball 40 times? Because there's a reason why he's the backup quarterback and has been a perennial backup quarterback for his career.
Yeah.
Agreed. I've got one other, and it's very, very, very sceptical. It's T.Y. Johnson for the Jets against the Pats. P. Ryan's injured again, isn't he?
Is he injured again?
Yeah.
I must have missed that.
Injured or COVID list, something like that. Let's have a look. Johnson, it says here, Johnson expected to serve as the Jets feature back Sunday against the Patriots. Both Frank Gore, bruised lung, and Lamichael P. Ryan reserve COVID-19 list sideline.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
You can run on the Patriots. I think this is going to be a fairly competitive game.
Yes,
not a good game, but a fairly competitive game. The Jets have looked better the last couple of weeks, obviously, with the 2 wins. I think in the touches that T.Y. Johnson has had, when he was the leading running back for the Jets last time, was week 13, 22 for 104 again, and a touchdown against the Raiders. I think he's projected to be the feature back this week. I think they want to see what they've got with him. It's probably not a lot what they've got with him, but at 4,300, I'm quite willing to take that kind of risk and a bit of a punt play on T.Y. Johnson. Anybody got anyone else? In other words, Liam, have you got anybody else? Because we know Rich hasn't.
Yeah, well, I had P. Ryan, but now he's not playing. I quite like Ty Johnson, actually. That's a good shout from you.
You sound surprised.
No. I love when he says that. Like,
that's a good shout from you.
That was actually not awful.
Well, no. I mean, I'll say one guy. I'll get your guys' thoughts on it. Wayne Goldman, 5,300 going against Dallas. Probably a shootout.
Rich, hold on. Have you
on...
just used the Giants and shootout in the same sentence?
Yeah, I think it will be. I generally do. They have to win the game end of the day. I'd say his carries are a little bit of a worry, especially with Alfred Morris, who for some reason is getting touches in the backfield.
Leon Lewis.
Rich, is he a guy? Is he an option for you this week, or is he a complete avoid?
Wayne Goldman, I'd be happy with putting in. I didn't realise that was his price. I thought it was more expensive. I must have skipped past him, or I would have mentioned him because I think I kind of agree with you. The Giants, they have to win this game, and for me, in week 17, you're looking for teams where they have to do something.
Yeah.
They're going to have to make a move, and Goldman has been really effective when he was being given the opportunity. Yeah, the last 2 weeks against Cleveland and Baltimore, anyone could have told you that he was probably going to struggle. But, just a couple of weeks ago against Seattle, he had a really good performance. I don't know. Have the Giants, did they activate Freeman from the IR list or no? I don't think they have yet.
I don't think so. He's been on the COVID IR list for a fair bit of time. Freeman looked good Friday's practice.
18th of December.
So that was last week.
In other words,
2 weeks.
No, but it looks
okay.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I'd be worried about is that it ends up in some absolutely brutal. Everyone gets 3 touches backfield. That's my only concern. But I think that chance is quite minimal.
Cool. Let's go on to the minefield, which is wide receiver. Now, Rich, would you like to start with your number one main guy? And I'm just going to go straight to him for you. Where am I going? I'm just going to search for... It's Des Bryant, Rich. Go for it. The floor is yours.
No, he's actually not on my list.
What?
What? How's that even possible?
He's not on my list, but it's one of these things where he's bargain basement. Like
he's not Stoneman anymore.
He's not Stoneman. He's 100 more. But we were talking in our group chat about this, and I said, he has done what I said I thought he would do, which is just red zone target, touchdown upside. Those 2 weeks, touchdown. That's all he's done. But he's not on my list for this week because I think they're just going to run the ball.
Who is on your list?
Jerry Jeudy, 4,200. The way that he reacted with all of the drops on the sidelines and his general demeanor, I think they're going to want to try and get him the ball to try and set that right.
Unless he drops it again, and then they won't.
No, I think you're going to see them get him the ball. I think in practice this week he'll have spent a lot of time on the machines. Yeah, just catching. I think you've got a highly rated rookie. You were talking about how you like Drew Lock in some way in this game. If he's going to have a good game, then it has to come through Jerry Jeudy because he's the primary receiver, as you saw there with the target share.
The thing with the Broncos is, my initial thought is if they want to win, he should throw the ball towards Tim Patrick. Because Patrick's been the far more consistent receiver. Jeudy has the much more upside. I can see why you suggested him, but he's just got to do that one important thing that wide receivers need to do, and that's catch the fucking ball. If he can, then yeah, you got massive upside. I'd say 4,200 against the Raiders. There's no harm in that, mate. There's definitely no harm in that. Liam, what about you?
Yeah, and also the price for Patrick this week at 4K is so cheap for an end zone guy. Like, he's on my list. I won't talk about him too much. You kind of mentioned him there, but
yeah,
for the touchdown upside he can realistically get, especially in this game, 4K is so cheap, and I'll be surprised if he's not in a lot of people's considerations this week.
Yeah.
But my number one guy this week is Jacoby Myers, 5K. Going up against the Jets. Last time he played them, had I think it was 11 receptions, 160 yards. It was, there you go, 12 receptions, 169 yards. So even better than I thought. And I don't think anything's changed since last time, really. It's a fairly concentrated pass funnel for Newton and even Stidham. A bit like Minnesota, really. And Myers seems to be the main guy majority of the time.
Jacoby's great.
Yeah, he's really good, actually, and I think he's one of the nice surprises this season that's come out of it in general for the Patriots. What's been a pretty tough year for him.
No, I've been waiting 2 years for this.
Oh no, tell me about it. I waited so long. As a Dolphins fan, the struggle's been real. But yeah, I think this is one of the bright spots. And I think at 5K, I think he'll go out with a bang this week, and do well.
I am more interested in Jacoby Myers when they say Jarrett Stidham's the starter.
Okay, interesting.
Because they'd have a quarterback back there throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let's be honest. Jarrett Stidham came in the back end of the third quarter, and he'd led the team in passing yards and Cam Newton just hasn't got it anymore.
What I think is quite interesting in this division, I'm going to go a bit of a tangent, is we had for years and years, the Patriots had the quarterback and the other three teams in the division were lost at the position. We're now in the complete inverse, where the other teams will have a quarterback. You've got Jets will have, I don't know who they'll end up selecting, but they'll have
Darnold.
Yeah, probably Darnold, right?
Darnold, if not a highly rated rookie. You've got Tua at Miami, and you've got Allen at Buffalo, and the Patriots have Jarrett Stidham.
Can I say one thing? Here's an interesting one. So at the moment, isn't the Houston pick, which is going to the Dolphins, isn't it the third pick?
Yeah, third overall, yeah.
Absolute scenes if Bill Belichick goes up ahead of where the Jets are 2, aren't they? The set of 2.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they win. Yeah.
How much do you think Belichick would give up to get the Jags pick just to go fuck you to the Jets? It's never happening.
It's not happening.
I still think that. Karen,
I can't see the Jags doing that.
No, not a chance. But
it'd be stupid too.
What they need to do, the Patriots, is what I said in the offseason this year. Get fucking Andy Dalton, you bellends.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. We're going on a massive segue here, but the investment that the Cowboys made in their backup QB is, I know their record is not great, but it's the only thing that's kept keeping them in that playoff hunt. Like that investment in your backup QB cannot be understated in this day and age.
How much do you think the Patriots would have to offer the Lions to get Matty Stafford? And then
I don't know what his contract situation's like.
Sign Kenny Golladay in free agency.
Wow.
That would be quite nice. Matt Stafford there would be good. They just need
that'd be interesting, yeah.
They basically need a game manager type of quarterback.
Kirk Cousins, Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? Jimmy G go back?
No.
I think it's highly unlikely. I think that Matthew Stafford will move based on his cap number.
Is it more than Carson Wentz, and people are still in the Carson Wentz is probably going to get traded?
So for 2021, if they trade him, should we say post June, they'll have to eat $13 million in dead money.
That's not awful.
I mean,
that's still a fair chunk. You also have to consider the cap is going to be shrinking next year.
Yeah,
is what they're saying.
But Detroit should rejig the whole lot, to be brutally honest.
Yeah, they do.
I should do. We've gone on a massive tangent, haven't we?
We really have.
Rich, you said one, Liam. You both have said a wide receiver, haven't you? I can't remember.
Yes, you're next, Jamie.
I'm next.
Get us back on track.
Let's have a quick look. I'm going to be boring. Russell Gage. 5,100. Price hasn't changed since last week. It was a bit of a dud last week, 4 for 5 for 23 yards. But the game before against Tampa, 5 receptions, 68 yards, and a touchdown, 17 points. The week before that, 18 points. As I've said on the episode today, the Falcons are going to pass the ball. They're not going to run the ball. They're just going to throw the bloody ball. And it's Russell Gage, Hayden Hurst, and Calvin Ridley. That's basically it. And then you've got Powell and Laquan Treadwell catching one pass occasionally. But yeah, I think Gage is still a 5,100. I like the fact his price hasn't really changed. So yeah, in this game, I'm quite happy with Russell Gage. Liam, what have you got next, mate?
Jameson Crowder, 5K.
Yeah.
I was not myself last week. I said to him, I'd play him with like a stat.
I did.
Yeah, and I didn't. And then, of course, he did well. But I'm not making that same mistake this week. I think he's a nice bring back with Myers, which I may or may not have in my lineup for this. Yeah, it's just a nice play. I think it's the first time this season the Jets can actually play with a bit of freedom. They don't have anything to worry about regarding tanking or having to win games. And I just generally think they'll play well. And obviously New England are not very good. And I just like Crowder at 5K. I feel like he's proven his value the past couple of weeks, and I feel he did the same this week.
Agree. Rich, where are you looking, mate?
Marvin Jones, 5,100, slightly more expensive. I should have written these in salary value, in salary order, really, shouldn't I?
Well, there we go. It doesn't matter. Who cares?
Yeah, that's where we are.
I assume you want Matt Stafford back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if it's David Blah or Blah, or Chase Daniel, then not really sold on this. But Marvin Jones has the ability to get downfield, and Detroit, Minnesota, there's nothing really on the line for either of these teams. I think just going to
air it out.
It almost just feels like they're just going to just be like, it's like, end of year feeling. Let's just do what we want. Let's just have a game. So we could see a big game from Marvin Jones as a result.
Yeah, I quite like that. I'm going for scroll down. We mentioned him earlier, Zach Pascal.
I was half tempted to mention him as my next guy, but yeah, go for it.
The thing with Pascal is, like, he has the occasional nice game, doesn't he? And he's had 2 on the trot, 6 targets the last 2 weeks, both weeks. 2 touchdowns against Houston week 15, 1 against Pittsburgh, 24 points, 15 points. He's 4,200. I think Rivers trusts him, and Rivers seems to be wanting to throw the ball to him. So the Jags are awful. The Colts need to win. That's basically it for me. Anything to add to that, Rich or Liam?
You go ahead, Rich. Yeah, go ahead.
Just that, just put the two hands together. Colts need to win. Jags are awful. David Brent-esque. Melting pot.
Okay, Rich, you got anyone else?
I had Denzel Mims, 3,000.
Interesting.
I looked at him and then saw sense.
Okay, thanks.
No.
It's a desperation play, but it's one of these where
it could blow up. He could blow up.
Yeah, he has that ability, and this Patriots defense is not good. So, I think you alluded to with a couple of other players that we've mentioned today, this Jets Patriots game could end up being quite high scoring. In which case, Denzel Mims has the ability to break off a run.
Yeah,
this is more like desperation GBP play than anything.
It's basically if you've got 3,000 left in your flex.
Yeah, if you can't afford Des Bryant, you've got Denzel Mims right there. That's it. Yeah, that's it. The fullback.
Liam, what else have you got, mate?
Rashad Higgins, 4,500.
Yeah, I've got him.
All over this play, really. I don't think, as I mentioned, I don't think the Steelers are going to play everyone for this game, and especially not on defense. And Higgins, well, when he's actually played, it's not been due to COVID, has been brilliant. 9 targets week 13, 10 week 14, and even with a 5 against the Giants in week 15, he still got 76 yards.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's this cheap, quite frankly. I don't understand it. And I'll be playing him if he's activated off the list, playing him quite a bit.
I think that's maybe the reason that he's that cheap, because when they probably started doing the pricing, they probably weren't sure if he was going to be available or not.
Yeah.
Well, he can come back off the COVID-19.
Yeah, he can. I think all of them was just a close contact, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think any of them tested positive, so I think they could all return.
Yeah. No, I quite like Higgins this week. I've got one which is the same price as Des Bryant.
Is it Des Bryant?
No, it is not Des Bryant. It is Richie James. No Debo, no Ayuk. The 49ers have got nothing really to play for. Beat Hard's playing the quarterback. This is, again, it's like Denzel Mims. It's a real punt. He's had a couple of games where he's been a bit kind of, it's fine, 8 points, 6 points. And he's had the one game where he's absolutely gone nuts for 36 points against Green Bay in week 9. I wouldn't even look at this if I was fit, but at the moment, the receiving call for the 49ers is Richie James and Kendrick Bourne and George Kittle. So, 3,100, I'm willing to take the punt on him there. Should we go on to tight ends, lads?
One more for me, sorry.
Who you got?
One more. Slayton, 4,100.
Darius.
Past 3 games, you've seen the targets, 8, 9, and 8, I believe. I'm expecting this one to, both teams need to win, so therefore they need to play well. And I think if anyone's going to do well in the Giants' offense outside of Coleman, it's going to be Slayton. And obviously, whoever's at QB likes him because they give him targets. And as Jamie's highlighted on the YouTube video, he did well against Dallas in week 5, 129 yards, 8 receptions. So as a complete flyer play, I don't mind Slayton at all.
Yeah. I can see that, mate. All right, tight ends, Rich. Go for it. Shoot.
Rob Gronkowski, does he count? I always wonder about where we're talking with, like...
I'd say that counts.
He counts. He's half the price. He's about half the price as the top guy, It's Kelsey.
Yeah. Okay, so I like Tom Brady this week. This offense is kind of flowing. Again, he's caught 100% of his targets for touchdowns.
That's a rich stat.
That's even better than in Minnesota, where he just caught all of his receptions for touchdowns. So he's that red zone guy that you're looking for in this tight end position. You're just looking for the ability to score a touchdown, and in this kind of bracket, he probably has one of the largest upsides at touchdown scoring, I would say.
Cool. Liam?
Irv Smith for me, 3,900. I mean, I don't know what else to say really of Irv Smith. He's just a really good player. I'm not as efficient as Gronkowski when it comes to touchdowns to receptions ratio, but he certainly sees more volume than Gronkowski. Last week saw the
Balances it out, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the 9 targets, 6 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. Detroit can't defend at the best of times, so I don't expect them to do well in this matchup where they weren't even tackling people last week against Tampa Bay. And Cousins seems to have taken a liking to Irv Smith since Rudolph Red-Nosed Reindeers had a little Christmas break. So yeah, I think Irv Smith 3,900 is one of the better value plays on the slate, and I'll be playing him a fair bit, I think.
Price is quite nice as well, 39.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I feel like a broken record. Same as last week, Jordan Akins. Like Deshaun Watson, like Jordan Akins. Titans, passing D is not good. Mentioned that, I think, a couple of times today. He sees a steady flow of targets, 6 and 4 the last 3 weeks. He's had a couple of bad drops, let's say. Especially, I think, at least one in the end zone. At least one in the end zone. Against the Colts, I think it was. Or was that against Chicago? One of the two. But yeah, 3,300. This is basically based on Deshaun Watson. He's going to be throwing the ball over the place again, I think, this week. Akins at 3,300. Yeah, I think he's a fairly safe play. Rich, who else?
Johnny Smith, 3,800. Again, it's touchdown upside is what I'm looking for. Yeah. He's not as good as Gronkowski in that situation. He's taken 3 receptions to score 1 touchdown, which is not as good as Gronk. No. But he is using in the red zone. Whether they'll just end up just saying, Derek, have a game, and Johnny Smith will do nothing. It just feels to me like he's slightly more risky. I could see the team just giving the ball to Derrick Henry in the red zone and just saying, just finish it off, mate. But if you think there's a chance that Derrick Henry struggles or that they decide to pivot away, then he is their red zone weapon.
Yeah. Liam, got anyone else?
Just stow him in complete punts for me. One of them's Jacob Hollister, 3K. I think out of all the tight ends on, he seems to be the touchdown guy.
He's not stowing him in.
Is he not stowing him in?
No.
Oh, okay, well, either way, 3K is a pretty cheap price for Hollister.
It's cheap, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I thought it was stowing him in. Yeah, I mean, he's 2 touchdowns in the last 2 games. He's seen targets elsewhere on the field, but I think predominantly he is a red zone usage type of guy. If you think Seattle are going to try and win this game, which I think they will, I think Hollister's a decent play at 3K.
Yeah, I can see that. I've gone Big Willie D, his teammate, Will Dissly. He saw 3 targets last week. Hollister saw 6. I've been a big fan of Will Dissly since he came out, really. His breakout last year wasn't really expected. He's had a couple of nasty injuries. This for me is 2,500. I'm going to chuck him in my lineup if I want to spend elsewhere with the upside of a touchdown potentially. It's basically it. You're hoping for a touchdown. Anyone else?
I thought you were going to mention Hayden Hurst.
No.
3,700. Julio's not going to be playing.
No. That's basically it. I was surprised. I've got one that was on my list that I was surprised that neither of you mentioned, and I didn't mention him because of that. It's Chris Herndon.
Yeah.
Hello, Chris Herndon. Where have you been? Last 4 targets last 2 weeks. That's amazing for him. Everyone expected much better things from Chris Herndon this year. Everyone
for his career.
Yeah.
He's a talented tight end.
He feels to me like the guy that every season will get hyped up, and every season he just won't do it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully next year he will, without Adam Gase. But 2,800 gun up against the Patriots. We've all pretty much said we think this could be a competitive game. Again, it's this kind of price. You're hoping for a touchdown. 2-8. Defenses, boys. Rich.
I've got 2, so I'll go for the one that maybe isn't as obvious. So I'll stay in the Flames with Arizona.
Yeah, one of my ones. Nice. I like it.
Okay. Thanks. I guess the Liam stamp for approval.
I like it.
I love the fact that you get, one of mine like it, and I get, that's a good suggestion from you.
Liam feels more.
Well, Jamie, it's only because you said you've been struggling the past few weeks. That's why it is.
The Cardinals, they're getting after the quarterback, and as we mentioned earlier, Jared Goff isn't going to be playing in this game. That offensive line is still not great. I was going to say not great because I was going to be polite.
No, don't be polite.
And Arizona need to win this game to have any chance of making the playoffs. So their defense will be a big part of that. That's kind of where I feel with it.
Liam, got anything to add?
Not really. You kind of mentioned it all. I just feel Arizona can get to Wolford quite a bit, and they're in form. So yeah, like them a lot.
Cool. Well, wait, what's one of yours, Liam, apart from the Cardinals?
Probably my main defense this week is Cleveland, 2,500.
Shock.
I said DraftKings have got this pricing all wrong. Obviously, they can't predict players sitting, but this price is crazy. Obviously, Myles Garrett, first time meeting his good friend Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, I literally was googling if Myles Garrett is expected to play.
I believe he is, yeah. So Myles Garrett's thinking 20 sacks, I think, this game. And 2,500 is a bit too cheap, I think, especially if Pittsburgh, they're sitting Big Ben already, so they're already putting themselves at disadvantage, and the Browns need to win. So we'll take the team that needs to win over the backup QB and the defensive end that wants to brutally, I don't want to say attack him, but do bad things to him.
Is that better? I don't
know. I think it is.
Bad things to him.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, do bad things to him.
Yeah, Browns were on my list as well, mate. They were on mine. But the Seahawks.
Yeah, that was the other one I had.
3,000 against the 49ers. Rich, tell me, I will follow you. Why the Seahawks?
A similar reason to the Cardinals is that they've been able to get to the quarterback and put pressure on. We mentioned that Bethard is the quarterback this week, and that's generally not a great thing for offenses. So this defense has been steadily improving.
Yeah, it really has.
Over the last couple of weeks. Similar to what I was saying to the Colts earlier, is that doesn't always translate to fantasy, but I think in this game you'll probably see that translate.
And they haven't scored less than 9 points for the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, Jamal Adams is he's doing well. But.
Yeah. Yes. No, Seahawks are mine. I like them. They get into the quarterback, really, as I say, and the fact that they've 9, 12, 9 and 9 the last 5 weeks is, 3,000. I really quite like that. Should we go on to stacks?
Yeah, let's do it.
Liam, seeing as you talked first, give us your first stack.
I'll mention one that I already said, Crowder and Myers. I believe it's 10k. That's too cheap. So I'll take that.
Rich?
I've got Tannehill and AJ Brown.
Yeah, so have I. 14-2 against the Texans. It's nice. I've got Matt Ryan, Calvin Ridley, and Russell Gage. 19,500 against the Bucks. Yeah. money. Liam, who's your second one?
Cousins, Jefferson, and then if you want to add a bit more to it, Irv Smith.
Yeah, I like that, mate. I like that one a lot. Rich?
I alluded to when we were talking about QBs, Rivers and Taylor. 13-4. I don't have to guess it who has the wide receiver touchdown or whatever, and just get Rivers and have it all.
Yeah. My other one is a Texans stack against the Titans. I've got the Tannehill Brown one. I like that one. Watson, Cooks, and Akins at 17,900. I think that could be. And if you really want to get a bit dicey with this game, you could chuck David Johnson in as well. He's been playing well the last couple of weeks, and that would take it to 24-7. Plays of the week, Rich. Who is your play of the week?
Jonathan Taylor.
Bingo.
7,400.
Yep.
Must-win game.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. It's my play of the week as well. Liam, who's yours?
Aaron Rodgers, same pretty much. Same must-win game. Tends to play well. Doesn't really have a bad game. It's too consistent to be 7,400 in my opinion. So I'll have a bit of him.
Does anyone have a bust of the week? Because I haven't got one.
I mean, there's the Cleveland running backs.
Patrick Mahomes.
Big Ben is my bust of the week. That's mine. Anyone else?
I think Liam actually had a serious one.
No, I said Nick Chubb. I mean, I've also don't think David Montgomery's going to do as well as people think he is. I don't like that Chicago offense this week, to be honest. I think Green Bay run up the score and they have to pass the ball.
There's still passes to Montgomery as well. He's not used as much in the passing game as Allen Robinson. I will say that.
Yeah, of course. I don't know. It's just a bit. I don't know. Not for me this week.
I actually have one that I'm probably going to catch a lot of fire for. I'm going to say Alvin Kamara.
Nice price, yeah.
One, it's the price. Two, I think we're going to be in a situation where there's only one scenario where from what I've seen, that the Saints end up with the number one seed, in which case halfway through the game they could be playing for nothing. And you could see
Kamara could have 4 touchdowns by that point.
I mean,
he could.
He could. But then again,
I think
if we'd said Alvin Kamara's getting 6 touchdowns last week, we would have said exactly the same things. Yeah,
I'd have gone, mate, and that's in the bag. 6 touchdowns. Nothing. Is that? I mean, really, should it actually been 7? In all honesty, it should have been 7.
It should have
pulled him at the goal line.
And Taysom fucking Hill.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. I think if the Saints, that scenario doesn't seem like it's going to play out, I think they might pull Drew Brees and put Taysom Hill back in, protect those ribs for the playoffs.
And also chuck a bit of Latavius Murray in there as well. He's been used a fair bit.
Okay. Yeah, so that to me is going to be the bust. That actually was quite a well-rounded argument, I think. You did well with that in the end.
I'm surprised.
So am I.
Right, boys. Let's get to the nitty-gritty, shall we? Our lineup for this week. Same as usual. List of quarterback, running back, blah, blah, blah. We all know. Everyone knows. Rich, quarterback.
Ryan Tannehill. Price? 7,000.
Yes. Liam.
Aaron Rodgers, 7,400.
Shock. Could have guessed that one. You do love yourself a bit of A-Rod. My quarterback is Matt Ryan, 5,900 against the Bucks. Rich, you're running back 1.
Jonathan Taylor.
7,400. Liam?
Jonathan Taylor.
I've got David Montgomery, 7,700 against the Packers. Rich, running back 2.
Melvin Gordon.
Liam?
Melvin Gordon.
Is this where you boys... Oh, no, you can't afford Derrick Henry in your flex. Richard's face.
There's Brian.
There's our Mims.
My God, Rich's wide receivers, Richie James, Denzel Mims, and Des Bryant. That's what it will be. My running back 2 is Gus Edwards at 4,900, going up against the Bengals. Your wide receiver 1, Rich.
AJ Brown.
Liam.
Devontae Adams.
Calvin Ridley. Wide receiver 2, Rich.
Jerry Jeudy.
Liam.
Jamison Crowder.
I've got Mike Evans. Wide receiver 3, Rich.
Zach Pascal.
Nice. Liam.
Jacoby Myers.
Nice. This is where my wide receiver gets a little bit sketchy. Richie James, 3,100.
Okay.
Tight end, Rich.
Hayden Hurst.
Liam.
Irv Smith Jr.
Again, we'll talk sketchy. My tight end is Will Disley, 2,500. Your flex, Rich.
David Montgomery.
Liam.
Josh Reynolds.
Jonathan Taylor.
Nice.
Defense, Rich.
Cardinals.
Liam.
Cleveland.
I'm the Browns as well. Rich, can you list your lineup for us, please?
Yep. Ryan Tannehill at QB, running backs Jonathan Taylor and Melvin Gordon. Wide receivers are AJ Brown, Zach Pascal, Jerry Jeudy. Flex David Montgomery, tight end Hayden Hurst, and DST Cardinals.
Liam?
So QB's Aaron Rodgers. Running backs are Jonathan Taylor and Melvin Gordon. Wide receivers, Devontae Adams, Jamison Crowder, Jacoby Myers. Tight ends, Irv Smith. The flex is Reynolds. And the defense is Cleveland Browns.
Mine is quarterback Matt Ryan. Running backs are David Montgomery and Gus Edwards. My wide receivers are Calvin Ridley, Mike Evans, and Richie James. My tight end is Will Disley, and my flex is Jonathan Taylor, and I've got the Cleveland Browns DST. Should be interesting.
Yeah,
some interesting stacks, definitely.
Who won last week? Genuine question.
I know it wasn't me.
I
had an awful week everywhere.
I have no look. I've completely forgot to be honest.
I had an awful week. I don't really want to know. I think I finished dead last, genuinely.
Recent. Let's have a look.
Come on, load up. Now. I'm bringing it up. Right
We're all
now.
trying to bring
seconds,
it up.
Jamie.
Right, so Jamie won.
Oh yeah.
160. Wow, that's impressive.
Who won?
Oh yeah, it says.
He says he doesn't know, but he just casually just says, "Oh,
no, seriously, because last week.
Who was it? No, seriously, who was it? Who won?
160. Wow, I'm quite happy with that. Jameson Crowder, thank you very much. Interesting. Who's win? You're still leading, aren't you, Liam?
I mean, I think I've won 6. I don't know if you guys have won more than 6 or.
I've won 5. And Rich has.
I must have won 5 then, right? Adding that up.
No, it only says 1 for you, Rich.
What? Well, someone's lying then.
No, it's the overall leaderboard.
Look, Jamie, right, just quickly explain maths. If Liam's won 6 and you've won 5,
yeah,
that adds up to 11.
Yeah.
We're in week 16.
Okay. Go and have a look at the first week we did it, Rich, which was week 6.
Oh, I don't even care.
Come on, Rich. I'm expecting you to win this week.
I'm not. It's all these risky plays I'm going for. Like I don't even know. Like I'm trying to bring some flavour, some variety. So
some flavour.
Malcolm Brown burnt me last week. So did Le'Veon Bell. These guys just shit in the bed for me.
Shouldn't be picking them then, should you?
I just can't help myself. Sometimes I'm just ready to be hurt.
Rich likes to be hurt.
That sounds weird.
You said it.
Let's end on that note.
Where can we find you, boys? Rich, where can we find you?
You can find Rich King FF or KFancy_sports.
And your website?
KingFancySports.com.
Liam?
At Dolphin Abroad on Twitter.
And your website?
dolphinabroad.wordpress.com.
You can find me on Twitter at seasonlongdfs or at Jamie_Byram_. Website is www.seasonlongdfs.com. Everyone who's listened, I hope you've had a lovely Christmas. Enjoy the new year. I would say have a party, but don't be a dickhead and have a party. Stay at home.
Do it on Zoom.
Do it on Zoom.
Yeah, definitely.
Be responsible. And yeah, look forward to week 17, guys.
Slate of the year.
Look forward to it. And just as a little tidbit, Season on DFS will be running a playoff competition this year. I will chuck all the details out on the Twitter handle at Season on DFS. Probably just Friday, maybe the weekend. So just keep an eye out for that. All right, boys, have a good rest of the week.
You too.
You too.
And yeah, enjoy the football this weekend. All right, peace out.